All right, like Dwayne would say, the red light is on. And guess what? We are live and got a new intro. Check this out. All right, welcome to the Wrestling Realm Presents Championship Culture. I'm Brandon the Guy, and remember, every belt has a story. Now, before we dive into today's content and with today's special guest, I want to remind you of a few quick things, just a few. Did you know that you can watch all of the Wrestling Realm content anytime by just going to youtube.com/the Wrestling Realm? You can follow us on all social media platforms such as Instagram, X. It's going to take some getting used to calling it X. Facebook, and just by using the hashtag at Wrestling Realm. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you engage in the comments because trust me, we do respond to the comments. You can also stream and download all of our audio content at Anchor, Stitcher, Podbean, Pocket Cast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and don't forget, just like this is streaming, you can watch us on Twitch at The Wrestling Realm. So, as you can see over my shoulder, today is all about who wore it better. But before we get to that, I don't know if you paid attention in the intro, but Championship Culture has some new logo, new feel, new look. And that brings me to my special guest. So, this man I met in 2007. It's crazy because it doesn't seem like it's 16 years ago, but I can tell you, he definitely has been around much longer. It feels like it. Can't remember if it was an MCW show or ROH, but I'm pretty sure it was MCW down at the flea market in Dundalk when they used to run shows out of there. I was introduced to him by Hollywood Brian H. Waters pre-Jack Daddy years, so this might have been still when he was like pre-heel, but it was from Hollywood Brian Hogan. Brian Hogan. Brian H. Waters, and he introduced me to this guy. But throughout the years, it seems like we always gravitated towards each other. Whether we was at a live event, when we were just on the phone, texting, it seemed like when you go to a live event, if I'm not sitting with this brother, it just don't feel right. Things just don't seem to be going well. But fast forward, since the creation of Championship Culture, this man has been there to bounce ideas, argue with me, fight with me, laugh with me, you name it. He's been ride or die with me with Championship Culture. Call him at any time. I don't know why I keep calling him. I don't know why I keep texting him, but he keeps answering, so I'm going to keep doing it. He is literally my Jarvis, my Oracle, my Felicity Smoke, my Alfred, or even my Watchtower. And I know he probably got none of those references because he's just getting into comic books. To make it a little simpler for him, he is my Alpha/Zordon if I'm the Power Rangers. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you my friend, my brother. And just so you know how crazy it is, I just realized a couple days ago that his name for Twitter and the name that he goes by is an acronym for his name. So I want to introduce to you Hash the Third. Come on in, brother. Say hi to the people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on?
Wait a minute. Are you sporting the red shirt too? What's that?
What's that? Come on, man.
What is that on your chest? Oh, what is that?
No, hold on. Let me step back real quick. Let him real quick. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We'll put on glasses with it real quick.
Look at that.
There we go. Yeah, that freshness. It's the drip.
That's a nice color. Look at that shirt. Does that say Championship Culture or does it just say culture?
That says the Championship Culture.
That thing is beautiful. So if you can see,
we're
revamping, redoing, rebuilding championship culture. Not that it needed rebuilding. It was time to give it its own distinct brand. As you can see from my shirt with the 2 C's that stand for championship culture and with Brother Hugh's shirt that says championship culture. Let the people see up close because you can't really see the top. And you want to explain what's going on. I think he might have frozen. That's what he get for thinking about Vince McMahon. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you what's the story behind his shirt. I know I like to say every belt has a story, and I promise you, we're going to get to today's content. I just want to point out the fact that his shirt across the chest says culture, and at the bottom is the bird that's famous on, some of my favorite tag belts. At the base and at the top is a crown, and it has championship and the biggest letters culture. Now, as soon as he gets unfrozen, I don't know what's going on. He might have been thinking about, he who shall not be named. He should have learned that for Wednesday. But today, we're going to dive into this bad boy right here. Some of you may have seen me start with it, and I want to really get into this point when I'm talking about it. But before we get started, Brother Taekwon, what's going on, brother? He said, I remember this show. So, Taekwon already started. I feel like if Brother Hugh gets back on here and he says that name that you mentioned, I think the show is going to be over. But let's talk about this belt. While I'm waiting for our special guest, I think he's having technical difficulties. This belt is synonymous with the Attitude Era. It's almost synonymous with certain wrestlers. It was after WrestleMania 14, I believe, and I know Brian H. Waters will fact check me on this. Stone Cold Steve Austin actually was awarded this belt, or he handed a belt, whichever term you want to use. Vince McMahon was already in the ring. Not necessarily this belt. It had the black logo and it had a blue stripe. During that time, only 2 wrestlers held it. I know some people may say a celebrity held it. I've seen reports of where it might say a celebrity, but as the record reflects, it only shows that Stone Cold Steve Austin and Kane held this. Kane only held it for 24 hours because it kind of was like I don't want to call it a hot shot potato, but it was only a one-day reign. And we all know that's Brother Hughes. Oh, there you go. You heard me talking about Kane. That's his favorite wrestler.
You start mess already. See?
So the blue Big Eagle with the blue strap with the black logo was held only by Stone Cold and Kane. Then, as we know with the color straps, as history will tell us, from the wrestlers with the oil and the sweats, and even when Stone Cold had that bloodbath, I know you probably remember that, it changed the color of it. So this belt has went from WWF. Kane is look. I'm gonna agree with you, Brian H. Waters, because he definitely said it best. But 24-hour reign. That's all I'm saying.
Right, come on, bro.
So even though the logo changed,
from the King of Gumps.
So even though we know the logo changed at the top from the scratch to the WWF to the WWE, the overall shape and design of the belt pretty much stayed the same. Of course, the WWF logo went from white to black to scratch and everything like that. But this belt is synonymous with certain people. And I want to tackle today about who wore it better. Even though it had a short lineage, because we know the first champion was in what year? Hugh, do you remember?
I don't. I want to say
did you freeze again?
8? I probably did, yeah.
Yep, 1998 is when the first champion Stone Cold held it, all the way up until who was the last person that's credited with having it? I just want to see if you're paying attention. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Jericho.
I can't hear you say Chris Jericho.
Was it Jericho?
Absolutely. In December of 2001, Jericho was credited as being the last person to hold the WWF Championship and the WCW Championship, and that's when we became the undisputed champion. So the record books will show Chris Jericho was the last WWF champion. Triple H was the first undisputed champion once Jericho lost it to him. But let's talk about, well, did you see this comment?
I see it.
I don't know. Brian H. Wood, I don't know if he was able to see it. He show him the shirt. I don't know if he was able to see that one.
Am I freezing again? No, I'm good now.
No, you're not freezing. Let Brian H. Wood get a good look at that.
Well, zoom in on that there bird. You know what I'm saying?
That bird looked familiar. It looked like the bird that's on my favorite title right here. It does.
That one right there.
It does. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Brother Hugh, my first question to you as we dive into who wore it better. When you see the Big Eagle, besides Kane, who's the first wrestler that comes to mind?
Austin.
Now, why
Straight
Austin?
up. It seems like that belt was built for him. He was the face of the Attitude Era. If you look at that belt, the design of it, it's big, it's bold. The letters are bold. It screams like champion straight into the face. So it's like it has a lot of attitude, grit behind it. If you look at it, for me anyway. So I mean, it was a perfect fit. It's a reason it's called the Attitude Era belt. You know. So I mean, I like. It's definitely Austin. Definitely
Well,
Austin.
look what your boy Taekwon said about it.
I ain't messing with y'all today. It's all
All
good.
right.
He won it though.
So
it don't matter. He won it.
He won it. He is in the record books for it. So the reason I ask, because a lot of times when we see belts, it takes us to that wrestler and it takes us to that person. As one brother said,
yeah,
this is a person that screams out, automatically think about it. And I think it's because, Stone Cold came to the ring, nonchalant attitude, I got the belt.
right.
But The Rock just came, like I said, haha, look at me. Pay attention to me. Everything, even when he got into the ring, he threw it behind him. He was saying, look, I am the great one. Whether he was heel or face, he's the first person I think of because you couldn't watch Monday Night Raw and SmackDown while he was champion and not see him with it. But who is the person that you last think about that held the title that you probably forgot who held the title?
Kurt Angle?
Yeah,
did he have
Kurt Angle. That's what I was going to say. That's the only person.
Yeah. Was it 2000?
Yep. No, I'm sorry. It was in 2001. It was earlier in the year in September.
Was it 2001? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because it was already leading up to he took it from Stone Cold and Stone Cold got it back. It was during that time where I don't want to say it was Hot Shot, but it was between Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, and that was around the time. I'm sorry, I take that back. He took it from The Rock earlier in 2000 and Stone Cold. I just remember in 2001 it was getting up to that December pay-per-view and trying to see who was going to be WWE champion to become the undisputed champion. Remember, that was the whole build-up of who got it, and then Stone Cold got it at the last minute. So when you talk about who wore it better, who's the first person that comes to mind that's not Kane?
Well, I said Austin, but appearance-wise, like you said, I would say Rocky, because like visually, like you can visually think about Austin, like you said, he's dragging it. He's kind of like disrespecting it, but he's not. It's like he don't really want it, but yeah, it fit his character perfectly. So that's why when I immediately gravitate towards Stone Cold when I hear about the Attitude Era belt or the Big Eagle, besides King, But I automatically gravitate towards Austin. Just big, bad, just attitude everywhere. Like it fits him. It fits the whole era of that time.
So let me ask you this: even though Stone Cold, you keep saying it fits the era, is it times that with this belt? Because even though I'm gonna give you my answer about who wore it better, I'm just going to keep asking you probing questions because you said Kurt Angle was the one that you was thinking about. You didn't say Mr. McMahon or Big Show, who are other people that nobody really associates with the belt because they had those short title reigns, and I think Mr. McMahon just had it as a check in the box. But we know Mankind.
Big Show wasn't ready. He wasn't ready at that time.
No, not at all. And that's an argument we could have because I think the Big Show was just a transitional champion, true and true. Like it was literally just, oh yeah, let's see if we can push him. But if not, gave it back to Triple H anyway. When it comes to the Big Eagle, when we talk about the Attitude Era, which was probably one of the most popular eras in WWE because it was like a rebirth. WWE was in a fight for their life against WCW at some points, and your champion had to have a certain swagger, a certain appeal. Do you think that without the WrestleMania matches surrounding this belt, we would be having this conversation about it being one of the most important belts?
Probably not, honestly. It was hot potatoed around. Like it was kind of disrespected in some points. Like it was just hot potato. I didn't like that portion of it. Like one night, like it came. He had it for one night. I get it was a transitional, movement, but I was like, I just didn't get it. It was hot potatoed around it. Somebody just need to keep it a little bit longer, keep it for a couple months, bring some prestige to it, and just go with it.
And see, my thing about that is during that era, when I said about to take the WrestleMania out of it, because during the ratings war and everything going on with WCW, I felt like the title changed hands more on Monday Night Raw because of the competition. how often do we really see a title change, a world title change on Raw or SmackDown? You feel what I'm saying? So
They definitely had a
with
deep
that,
roster at that time.
and it
So
was a lot of superstars that were established and a lot that could be established because remember, Mankind was the our hero guy. Undertaker he has to
that was our
have
moment
it.
maker.
You know what I mean? Like Undertaker has to have it. You know what I mean? Like I felt
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it
he
was.
did. He did.
Yeah, you had to give it to Undertaker because whether he was part of the ministry, the corporate ministry, whatever the storyline dictated, we knew the Undertaker was a safe bet. We knew Mankind was a feel good. We couldn't let this man keep getting beat up and not get over with the belt.
Not
And
reward him,
even
right?
going back to when Stone Cold won it from Shawn Michaels, I just remember it being okay, we turning the corner. We're doing something different. We're doing something different. It's a different feel. It's a different thing. It's a different feeling than when the Shawn Michaels, the Bret Hart, even a different Undertaker. It just felt like it was evolving time for wrestling. But it's a reason I haven't given my answer about who wore it better because we still got to talk about this. Do you think without Stone
You already know
Cold?
it's Jericho.
No, actually it's not. It's a tie. But do you think without Stone Cold, without the smoking skull, would this belt mean so much to that era?
That's a tough one.
Because I think Stone Cold put the eyes on the product, right?
I would say
Uh-oh. I think I lost him again. He might have tapped out. But why he's frozen in the Matrix, it
he
seemed like.
definitely did. Like Stone Cold, I hate to keep saying it, Stone Cold was the Attitude Era. He started it basically. He was the face of it.
You're breaking up really bad. I don't know if it's you. I think your connection is bad. Can you hear me?
What?
Your connection is really bad. I heard about every other word. Taekwon, if you're still in the chat, could you hear what he was saying? Because on my end, it was breaking up really bad. Oh, it was a glitch in the Matrix. I think this brother had something to do with it. Okay, here are bits and pieces. You might have to reset your internet connection. Well, he plays on that, and I'm not going to give my answer about who wore it better, but I'm going to tell you the story behind why I had this belt.
Yeah.
Being an Attitude Era person myself, the story behind this belt was very simple. First belt I've owned was the Intercontinental title because that was the point of when I really started getting back into wrestling, started understanding, started watching on a regular basis. So it was only fitting. If I had the Intercontinental, I had to have the Big Eagle. And the reason behind the Big Eagle, a couple friends of mine by the name of A. David, I mentioned them before, they actually helped me secure this belt. And the good thing about it, it's still got its original strap. I'm going to show you the back. It still has the WWF behind it. I haven't replaced anything with it. Got a couple scratches and blemishes, but I refuse to replace anything on it, especially because for a short period of time with this belt, they actually did the strap with the WWF stamp on it. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it has the white on the side, but the tip of it was the scratch logo. Love the color, love everything about this belt. It checks all the boxes with the globe, world title, the eagle, the wings, everything about it. When I saw it, just screamed at me, this is the world title. Even though the Intercontinental title was still good, it's still having great matches, I feel like I had to have this one in my connection. It's crazy. We got two Who's on the screen, and they're both doing something totally different. So I know he's having technical difficulties, and I think Taekwon said it best. Being a Kane fan is definitely not helping your internet. Yep, I can hear you. But being a Kane fan ain't helping your internet connection.
Y'all funny.
So
y'all big funny, but it's all good. I'm here. We're gonna make it happen.
Okay, there we go. That's better. Oh, you can see the shirt a little bit better. I don't know if Dwayne Richard Allen seen your shirt or not, but I hope he gets a glimpse of that.
Yeah, right there. Boom.
Oh, that's better. That's a good close up right there.
Yes, sir.
Championship culture looking good there, brother. So now, I think we're at the point we can actually establish. So let's have this argument. Because I told you couldn't say Kane wore better. Who wore this belt better?
Oh man, are you back to me?
Yeah, I'm back to you.
Like I said, appearance-wise, Rocky. He looked like $1 million with it. He showcased it well. Austin with all of the attitude. Yeah, it fit him. Other than that, Triple H, man. See, Triple H was up there too. As far as the heel, Triple H definitely. He had to be like the greatest heel to wear that belt. Other than that, I mean, I don't really have anybody else. Nobody else can really beat those top three.
So I'm gonna tell you, mine is actually a tie between who wore it better. The first one being obviously The Rock. It was just something about when The Rock had it. Every time he fought for it, anytime The Rock got it, it felt like it was validation of him. It felt like he climbed that mountain, whether he had it 1 time, 12 times, however many times he had this belt. It just felt like, even during his heel times with him and Mankind, he put it over. Him and Stone Cold, him and Triple H. Every time The Rock went after it, it was a feel-good moment to see him get the belt. Now, just something about when he came to the ring with it, it just added a cool factor to it and just made you remember his interests. And even when he won the belt, it just felt different. But who I'm also going to tie with is, and this is going to be a crazy one because I know a lot of people are not going to think this, Triple H. We actually saw the birth of the game, the Cerebral Assassin, everything you want to call Triple H during this era. And I just remember seeing him with it around his waist, his hair dripping, just standing there looking menacing, like he's about to come do some damage. It was to the point that I wanted to see what else Triple H could do, whether he was cheating to win, he had DX with him, he really became his own in between this time. And it was just so crazy to see him, I don't want to say break out of that DX shell, but really understand that it's time to play the game. When he changed his music, when he changed his whole appearance, he still could dip and dab into some DX stuff, but the main Triple H thing, when he just wore his belt, it just felt like, one, I'm gonna have a match that you're gonna talk about. I'm gonna have a match that you're gonna say, whoa, that was actually good. Whether he cheated to win or whether it was a straight clean win, he did it. I gotta give it to him. It was great. It was awesome. So there's the two. There's the two during that time. And see, Brother Dwayne said he hated Triple H during this era. I did too, but I got to give him credit. This and the big gold, you can't mention neither belt without mentioning, and I'm going to say the big gold in WWE standards without mentioning Triple H. And I'm just going to say it just felt like the belt fit and he came into his own. It was a whole different Triple H from being a European champion, Intercontinental champion, to when he was when he became the WWE champion. I felt like we watched the, no pun intended, evolution of Triple H during this era. When the Undisputed title, when he beat Jericho for it, it kind of felt like it was kind of flat because the build-up wasn't that great. It was a WrestleMania moment that kind of was like, okay, we knew he was going to win. Maybe if he would have been back a month earlier, Jericho may not be credited as being the person with the first ever reign. But let's call it what it is. I think Triple H and The Rock, what is better? Oh, look, you got somebody that agree with you.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about, man.
I wonder why would anybody agree that Kane wore it better? How can you wear something better for 24 hours? Or was it like 23 hours? How long was it?
It don't matter. He had it. It's in the record books, like I said earlier. It doesn't matter.
What did he do with it but lose it? That's all he did. He just lost it. He didn't do anything with it but lose.
That's all. He went home, he slept with it, and brought it back and lost it. Okay, that's good. We're moving on now. Let's go.
But look what Ty said. The build-up for Triple H versus Jericho was Hunter versus Stephanie featuring Jericho.
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah. And I think that's what killed it because Jericho went to that I'm the king of my world, Jericho, which was a character that really didn't last long. It just didn't feel right. Like, especially we were pushing Triple H as a face, and Triple H as a face only works when he has, I can't even remember a good face Triple H run.
I can't read either, honestly.
He said Kane wore for a few hours. See, he gets it. He was in, I'm trying to think this is you. Is this you?
Which one?
Man Cave Sports.
No,
Who
bro.
is it?
No. I'm
is
not
that
doing
you?
that. No,
I feel like that's you or Dwayne trolling us. Saying Kane is my favorite wrestler all time.
I can see that.
I don't know why, but let me ask you this last question about the Big Eagle, about who wore it better.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to put it on somebody during that era that didn't wear it, who would you put it on?
That's a good one.
Think about the Attitude Era and who could have actually worn it and it been good.
I don't think there's anybody else you could really put it on. It was like 10 deep at the top. Who else in the Continental ring? Let me see.
Yeah.
A long time ago, I would have said Test because he had all of the potential in the world. He had the look, but he couldn't talk on the mic. I don't even know for real, honestly. I'm just gonna go with Test or Billy Gunn.
You said,
but Billy Gunn couldn't talk either. So yeah, he couldn't talk either. But honestly, yeah.
All right, so Brother Allen, he said Jeff Jarrett. I can agree, but I'm gonna throw this at you. How about Ken Shamrock?
Oh dang, I forgot about Ken Shamrock.
He was one of the few double champions during that era because he was Intercontinental and Tag Team Champion. He was I don't want to say the muscle of the corporate ministry and the corporation, but he definitely was a featured player. And if he would have got it, I think that kind of would have opened up doors or lessened the hot shotting of to Rock to Triple H, Rock Stone Cold, Undertaker, Mankind, Rock. It was just like, I don't want to say hot shotting, but it felt like that could have broken up a little bit more if Ken Shamrock would have been inserted in there, and then maybe Kurt Angle wouldn't have taken so long to get to that. And when I say long, yeah, he had only been wrestling for a year before he got his first title or anything like that because he was Intercontinental European, all that good stuff. But if Ken Shamrock would have had a chance to hold it, I think that could have changed some things with the Attitude Era where he could have been. And I know Vince McMahon wanted a certain look, a certain guy.
I was about to say, see, I don't see him as a face of the company though, or the face of the brands. Like he wouldn't sell merch to me.
But look, Big Show had it. I'm just saying, if you gave Big Show a short run, you gave Kane a short run.
Yeah.
Why couldn't Ken Shamrock have it? Just like that 27 minutes that Jericho held it on Monday Night Raw. Everybody popped for it because he beat Triple H, and then it was like, oh man, but then he got crushed that he never got it back until he became the first ever undisputed champion.
The Big Show was different because he already had that hype, as being Andre's son coming from WCW. So it's like everybody was like, oh my gosh, he's coming over, whatever. And he was supposed to be booked as the next big thing. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, yeah, of course, Vince McMahon, he like his guys big and beefy. Mm-hmm. I said his name.
He like big. What do you say? Big meaty men slapping meat.
Man, meat. Yeah, that's wild. But
look what your boy said. He said came out the belt and Stone Cold asked him to give it back. That's probably what happened backstage. That's probably what happened. I'm pretty sure of it because he had that big old.
I mean, we already knew he was going to win anyway because he had a leather mask on. Come on now.
See, Dwayne gets it. And I feel like Ken Shamrock was such a missed opportunity because he was there. He was having those matches. And apparently backstage, he wasn't nobody to really mess with. Like, people ain't want to mess with him. And plus, his MMA background really helped him. Now, this is a good one. I totally forgot. Hardcore Holly, I think that stuff with him and Brock Lesnar was
I thought about him
too late. If it would have been earlier on, because he was still trying to figure out. He wasn't really stuck in the mid card. He was just stuck in I don't want to call it an undercard, but it's like Hardcore Holly really never made it to a main event status. But I could have seen that if that stuff with him and Brock Lesnar, because remember instantly him and Brock was having that feud, and it was like, oh, I didn't know I wanted to see this. So that was definitely a good one.
Both of them still seem kind of bland to me as the champion of the company. Both of them, Hardcore Holly and Ken Shamrock. They have good arguments.
I'm saying, during this era, remember, people had it as transition. Just like the Intercontinental title at times was transitional. For certain people. And look, he was definitely the enforcer, him and Boss Man. So, yeah, Ken Shamrock, I really think that would have opened the door earlier for a Kurt Angle, for the Radicals maybe to sneak up in there
Yeah.
because remember, that was towards the end of the Attitude Era when the Radicals, not necessarily the end, but it was like we'd already established the Attitude Era when the Radicals were there, but they were in that mid card. You know what I mean? And even when I'm not gonna go there, but let's just say the Radicals was also
How about
Shamrock was a
I
big
don't,
deal when he debuted doing yep.
does
And I
does
just
this
remember like
this does this count Owen Hart? Because he was right at right at the
at
end,
the he was at the end. He was the
kind
beginning of the
of.
Big Eagle, but at the end of the Wing Eagle, right? And we might have Brian
Yeah,
H. Wood to fact check that. I think because when Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart and Stone Cold was all wrestling, that was
yeah,
still
he was right at the
big. That
beginning.
was still Wing Eagle. I think he might have just missed it, right?
Dang. See that would have been the one right there.
And
Owen
seeing now
Hart,
in
that was
this
my
day and
man.
age, if Shamrock would have debuted now with the UFC buzz, if he would have been a
Oh
person
yeah,
that was big in
crazy
UFC, we
superstar.
probably would have. Yeah, he would have definitely made a bigger splash, and it would have been. I just remember watching his match and saying, "Oh my god, this man is actually awesome." And because he was
Yeah,
shorter, it felt
yeah,
like he had an extra off to prove. All
yeah.
right. Uh, real rapid fire. Favorite champion with the belt that's not Kane.
I'm gonna
We
go
know what
Rocky.
Rocky.
Yeah,
Least favorite.
Vince. Given the storyline,
Boringest.
Vince.
The most boringest
Huh?
champion with the belt. Who was the boringest champion with the belt?
Big Show.
I agree. Most
Ah,
entertaining.
yeah, Big Show. We're going Big Show. Of
Most entertaining with the belt.
course, it's Rocky.
You think
Well,
Rock was more entertaining than Stone
it
Cold?
depends. It depends. All right, so entertainment wise, we're talking. If you're talking about all of the crazy shenanigans, you got to go with Austin. If you're talking about entertainment wise, like on a mic presentation, you got to go Rocky.
But see, and I'm saying, so here's my thing. When I say
Overall,
most
Stone Cold.
entertaining, Stone Cold was a wrestler for the people because he was doing what a
Yeah,
lot of people wanted to do. They wanted to beat up their boss. And
yeah,
Stone Cold was always bucking the system. He was the entertainment, whereas Rock was the comedy entertainment. And then Triple H was just look at me, I'm coming into the game and I'm gonna do this type of thing.
So
So
overall, I would say Austin because he did incorporate some of that comedy into his character too. So all across the board is definitely Stone Cold.
all right.
If you put it that
Now
way.
this is for everybody in the comment. Post what your favorite match was with the Big Eagle. Yeah, while they're knowing that, Hugh, what was your favorite match with the
Come
Big
on, man.
Eagle?
Why are you asking this question?
I got to.
Why
When
are
it
you
comes to
asking this
championship
question? You
talk.
already know the answer.
What was your favorite match with the Big Eagle?
You already know the answer, bro.
I want you to tell the people. Can you tell the people? Can you listen to me? We're
First
not on
blood
the
match.
phone. We're live right now.
First blood match. We said it like 32 times in this live stream so far.
I
First
just
blood
want to
match,
hear.
Kane versus Austin.
Okay.
Come on, man.
I think my favorite one with it, and I might get flack for this, was the Rock and Triple H, and I think it was that the Backlash one where Shane was the referee.
Oh yeah, I
And
believe
I
it.
just remember because I was rooting for the Rock to get it, and it was that's where I felt like Backlash during that time frame was. Oh my God! Not necessarily WrestleMania sequel, but let's see what we could do differently with the
Yeah,
WrestleMania type of thing.
yeah.
So Dwayne said WrestleMania 15
What's one match that you wish you could have seen
with the belt.
for the title? Yeah.
So it's going to kind of sound crazy. I would have loved to have seen. Don't you remember they did that Fatal 4-Way with Mankind,
Yeah.
Undertaker, all of them? I wish I would
WrestleMania
have seen it.
2000. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I would have just seen it as a triple threat without the Big Show.
Wasn't it supposed to be that at first?
And then it was like each McMahon had somebody in that corner. I just didn't feel like it needed it. I wanted to see what they could do with that triple threat match because with Rock, Triple H, and Mankind, I felt like their stories were colliding to that point, and I wanted to see. I really kind of wanted to see that either Mick Foley come out on top or somebody take down Triple H. And I feel like we were on the Triple H train and we were just riding along waiting for, okay, who's going to take him down finally? You know what I mean? But I just feel like I would have much rather seen that triple threat. And I'm big on like ladder matches because it's those moments. But I just wanted to see at Mania give Mick Foley that moment. You know what I mean? Like Mick Foley had a whole career full of just moments, but I kind of wanted that.
He never had that WrestleMania moment. Yeah?
No, he never had a single WrestleMania moment, really.
Right. That's sad.
So,
but hey, still one of the greats.
You definitely are amongst two people that love Kane. That's all I'm gonna say. With that being said, brother, I think I made my point. So you know who wore better, in my opinion. It's a tie between The Rock and Triple H. The Rock, because just the whole, if you smell from that point all the way down to flicking it over his shoulder, everything about it was just wow. Shirt unbuttoned Rock, you cut off shirt Rock, everything about The Rock was just memorable.
On point.
And then I feel like we watched the evolution of Triple H during that time. And for you said Rocky, right?
Yeah, I said Rocky.
I can't believe we agree on something. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is a first.
Man, I really we go all day just fussing and fighting. we literally we text all day and just fuss and fight.
I don't think the people understand. So did you understand my reference when I talked about you are my Felicity, my Oracle by Jarvis? Did you know any of those references?
I know Oracle. Jarvis is with Iron Man, right?
Yeah. Felicity Smoke.
You said somebody else too.
Alfred.
Yeah, I know Alfred. I don't know
Watchtower. Felicity Smoke is a character from Arrow, the TV show that was. These are all considered the man in the chair. So within superhero comics, you definitely have people that are, while the heroes out there fighting crime, you hear the person like, oh, watch your back, watch your six, do this. Oh yeah, go this way, disarm this way. I'm pulling up the schematics, and you always pulling up some stuff to keep me in line. And I just want to go on record and say this is the first time this man actually agreed with me, and when he turned into an argument, which turned into laughing. But I want to address this comment. The Demon Dave says The Rock and Triple H look the best with the Big Eagle Championship. See?
Absolutely.
See? He agrees with me. That's what I'm saying. I said, who wore better?
Look-wise, if you think about it, I really can't even picture Austin with the belt. Like, literally. I had to look it up to really see, like, how he looked with the belt. Because I don't remember him, like, really presenting it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Because remember when he came to the ring with the Wing Eagle, and Vince McMahon was standing there with the blue, and he kind of was like, oh, and just took the belt and was like, okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he didn't break kayfabe. It wasn't really a bunch of emotion. It was like, okay, give me my belt. And remember when The Rock it felt like the Smoking Skull was more important to him when The Rock had it and was sending to throw it in the ocean and all that stuff The Rock was doing to him. And when he won it back, he held up.
I mean, that was personalized belt. It should, because that was his personalized belt.
Yeah, and you know the crazy part, the story says that when he commissioned for it to get done, he wanted a silver one to match his jacket, but I think it was J-Mar that made the belt, made him a gold and one gold and one silver, and when he saw the gold, he took the gold with him and came to the ring with it. I think it would be kind of cool if we would have the silver in the match, because at the time, I don't think in any company did we have a silver world title. Right, I don't think so at the time. Not a world title. All of them had been gold. So that would have been kind of neat to see that it's a customized belt. But I just remember like Stone Cold with the Wing Eagle and his Smoking Skull. Like I can't say WrestleMania moments, him coming to the ring with it, but I'm telling you, The Rock and Triple H are the ones that wore it the best.
They carried it very well. Yes, they made that belt on straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And Undertaker, he won it like once.
Who?
You said what?
You said who had it once?
Undertaker. He only won it once, right?
I think he had, because he had the Big Eagle, then that, and then he had the world title a lot, right?
The world title.
Because I remember a lot of reigns with the world championship, because he made that belt feel a little bit more important. Because he had more and then he had the undisputed belt too. Remember when they made it the undisputed championship?
Right.
Did Brian H. Waters leave us?
He probably did. He probably went to the gym, eating spinach and doing push-ups or
Probably cut the
something.
heel promo.
Yeah.
Brother Allen, you still there with us? You hanging on? You got kind of quiet there, brother.
I froze again.
Let's wait to see if he responds. So we had the portion of the show where I think we covered our bases. I think we discussed enough. Who wore better? What say you, brother? Has the third?
Am I still there? All right, cool. There we go.
Yeah, I see that you were centering your shirt. Let me try to center my shirt. Is that better? All right, because I don't know if
Yeah, there we go.
Brother Allen is there. I'm trying to see if he's gonna say something in the comments. He might have put it away or he might have left already. But
yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen, Championship Culture has a new intro, new logos, which is courtesy of Brother Allen. These were his brain children. We added this eagle or this bird, whatever you want to call it. That's all my face. Hold on, let me grab my title. Hold on. So you can see. Yes, I said my title at this point.
My title. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to see. I don't know if you see that. Stone Cold Steve Austin almost didn't need the title. His personality was almost bigger. That's actually a good point. So before we close out, look at this comment. Stone Cold Steve Austin almost didn't need the title. His personality is almost bigger than the title. Like the Phenom, he really didn't need the title.
He did.
Which is true. And if you think about it, he carried the story without the title most of the time. Like, just Austin versus McMahon was such a good story. It told itself, like Undertaker, no matter what he was doing, he was starting to build up his streak and everything, but he really didn't need the belt. And I applaud those guys for getting over and still being, and that's why I said in the description, icons and legends and, Hall of Famers, if you think about it, really made this big eagle worth having and worth looking at and taking a second look. So appreciate the comment. Back to the shirt. Just want to point out, see that? Can you show the people the bottom of your shirt, brother?
The bottom. All right, hold on.
Yeah, just the bottom of your shirt.
Move my hand out there. Big ugly hand.
Same style minus the globe. I don't know, because on this one, the globe was covering the bottom portion of it. This is one of my favorite titles. I'm glad it's still in my possession. Waiting for Brother Allen to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're gone and they're not in the comments anymore. So, any last words for the people, Brother Hugh?
Don't be a gump. Straight up.
What exactly is a gump?
It's a fool. Don't do anything foolish. Stay smart. Go by follow your instincts. Do what you do in life. Do what you have to do to make yourself better each and every day. Don't fall into the shenanigans of the world. That's it.
Definitely fair.
The wrap. How Brother Realness?
Where's he at? I'm mad that he really left. I think he did that on purpose.
Yeah,
I really think that he stopped in the comments on purpose.
He probably
must have been all great touch the title.
He's on his way to your house right now.
He's probably at the front door. Great knock on the door and say, "Give me my title." So, but if you're not doing anything tomorrow, tune into the Wrestling Realm now, where we go live at 10:30 p.m. on YouTube.com/The Wrestling Realm. I can't even mess with Dwayne anymore. I think he signed off on purpose. I wish Brian H. Waters was here, but if you like the shirts, don't forget to check us out every Tuesday on Championship Culture. This kicks off our first episode of us going back to some live videos where we're going to have some special guests. Next week, should we tell them? Should we tell them who the special guest will be?
Is it in there?
So,
all right. No,
Brother Hugh is my man in the chair, of course, but one of the founding members of the Wrestling Realm will be the next special guest on there. Now, we already had Hollywood, and him being a heel, he can't be seen much in public lately. So we went with the 6'12" brother. So let him see what the show is going to be about next week.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see if I got. It's not there. It's not there.
Hold on. You need me to stall so you can get to it?
Yeah, go ahead and stall real quick. I got you. Hold on.
So, ladies and gentlemen, when we say the 6'12" found in the Wrestling Realm, Dwayne Allen. Oh, that was The Rock.
Yeah, I know.
He's not coming on the show. Please don't think
I wish.
I think we would be bigger than YouTube. It'll be on some syndication. But I will tell you this. I don't know if you can see it in the background. See that title right there? Maybe he'll have it by next week, so it'll be in his background, and I have an empty spot there. But You got the picture? Brother Allen, I know you probably going to go back and watch this. If you happen to come pick up your belt, we got something else for you. Because I was told that you like certain colors, and since you admired it, you got one of these waiting for you. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
So Brother Allen.
Hey, there you go, waiting for you.
I don't know if you can see this. It's certain colors. It says championship culture. The colors that you like, but wow, and it has Wrestling Realm on the back. Let me just show you. But since you can't seem to get your belt, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna post it up right here for you. So that way everybody can see it. And it'll be waiting for you right there. All right. So
like we said, we got Dwayne coming on next week. Boom.
And the show will be entitled "Looks Can Be Deceiving" with the real Dwayne Allen.
That's a nice graphic, isn't it, Dwayne?
That is a nice graphic. I'm gonna have to put it in the group so he can see it because I don't know if he's seen this. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we've explained it. We've given you a preview for next week. I just wish Dwayne Allen was there, but don't worry. It'll be on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'll even post pictures of his shirt. And while we're doing that, do we want to hit him with another special? Do we want to give him something else a little special?
Why not? You got to take it away.
All right. So just like we do every Tuesday, when I say every belt has a story, I can't wait to hear yours. If you like the shirts we got on, don't worry. There's more to come. Check this out.